water going?
I wanted to, from the very first frame of this movie, put us right into the central conflict of all firefighters, and that is a really big, bad fire.
This is real fires. We have real actors and stunt people in these fires.
I think the recreation of fire in this film is better than it's ever been recreated.
The firefighters who came to visit the set, they walked through, and they said, that's exactly it.
Hey guys, let's stand by in our positions, please. Stand by.
And I storyboarded the whole 25-story grain elevator, Inferno, from the beginning of the movie, from the opening shot all the way to the final shot of the sequence. And you, in those storyboards, attempt to create images that you can actually pull off. And that's the tricky part. Digital fire, it doesn't look right. All the fire you see in the movie is real.
For that up-close and personal stuff that we're doing, burning something is still the best way.
The exterior, which is being, filmed actually at a real abandoned grain silo.
We're about 7 minutes out, 7 minutes out.
It was a big building on the wharf and on the waterfront in Baltimore. There are extras, there is an ambiance, there is a feeling about a giant location that couldn't be recreated on a soundstage.
There should be absolutely no one other than firemen by their engines or our stunt guys with the helmets that will be anywhere near the bottom of the building.
Every day, we all gritted our teeth that no one was going to get hurt because I just can't emphasize enough how dangerous it was.
Sure. And then don't go up in the bucket yet.
Everything goes a little slower. Everyone has to be a little more careful. You have to check and double check and triple check things.
In a situation like this, keep your eyes and ears open.
The explosion alone took about 2 weeks of just prepping and getting things ready inside the building.
Greg, you're ready to go, right? Ready. Hey, guys, start the water. Stand by, please. Bringing up the water. Water and fire.
We had all these fire trucks pour 12,000 gallons a minute or so of water from several fire hoses and a fire boat we had there.
Here we go. And let's roll cameras, roll cameras.
Rolling. Action on the trucks.
Back crowd.
Okay, here we go. Ready and action. Cut. Bring it down.
It's one of those things that your stress level goes way, way up, and when it goes off and then nobody gets hurt and everybody's fine and they love it on top of it, that's when it makes it well worth it.
I had a wonderful production designer, Tony Burrow, who helped design a set for me that looked like the real interior of this building, but he created it all himself.
Well, the grain silo is this dark, ambiguous space because it's going to be full of smoke, it's going to be full of flame. We build in collapsing ceilings and collapsing walls and floors and so on.
This is the interior of the grain warehouse, and what I'm standing on is the collapsing floor.
What we're trying to create here is a feeling of realism. But if an actor is afraid for his life or is scared that something could happen to him, he's not going to be able to concentrate on his acting skills.
Underneath, we have 4 of these hydraulic rams, and we have a couple men down here that, by manually operating the valves, bring the floor down and make the floor collapse. The floor that Jack stands on drops open, and he loses his balance and falls into a hole. This is our hydraulic pump that produces 3,000 pounds of hydraulic pressure. By changing some valve positions, we can pick the floor back up, put it in position, and do it over and over again.
I could have this building collapse, and 4 hours later, we could pull the building right back up again and start all over. When the building actually implodes and collapses, if you look closely in the film, you'll see that Joaquin is on fire. A big, giant burning ember landed on him, and he caught on fire.
We're through! Come on, let's go!
In order to get the entire experience of being in a fire, the visual was very important, but equally important was the sound. I wanted to capture the full realism of the sound.
We pretty much had to just start from scratch. It might as well have been a silent movie when we got it.
I would say out of 1,000 tracks, 25% of it will probably be fire, different fire sounds, and there'll be another 15% of explosions and stuff like that. Foley sounds, you know, body movements, and you have vehicles and all these others.
But this is the only words in these tracks.
Correct.
I need to provide and edit in the sounds that are not actually recorded and captured on the set to help create a more rich and fuller soundtrack.
Within that building, just about every sound has to be created. The building is very tall, it's very hollow with metal stairs. To record the actual sound of them walking, we took these boots from the movie so that our Foley walkers, the guys that were, you know, in there doing the footsteps again, could wear these boots because the weight of it itself makes a heavy sound.
Lab 49 to command, we're on the 12th floor.
When the actors were speaking through the mask, they actually hung one of the fire masks up on a mic stand in front of the microphone.
They had to stand back and just find this sweet spot that would just get them enough bounce so that it felt natural.
Fire department! Anybody here?
At one point in the building, there's an enormous explosion. Floors are falling through, and now you have to deal with debris. I mean, every piece of cement that's landing has to have a sound.
There's probably about 30 or 40 different fires that were recorded for this film. Recorded with different angles, different intensities.
I wanted to get the sound of this really, really heavy fire popping and cracking. I used untreated lumber as well as balsa wood and particle board that had been all stuck together. And the particle board ended up having a really great sound because it was different types of woods that were all within there.
We placed those in different speakers throughout the film to recreate the movement in the fire, because the fire just isn't constant and shouldn't be.
A lot of it we did in the surrounds of the mix so that it felt like you were actually in the middle of the fire.
It's fine to feel the power of the fire, but let the audience know that there is fire all around us. We have to keep it moving. We want the audience to think that they're really in the fire.
I felt the only way to get it right was to do it as real as possible, and that's why we all made that extra effort to do that.
The effects team has been amazing, and the fires that we've had, it feels real.
Okay! Okay!
When our actors portraying the firemen go in, we want them to feel the emotions that firemen feel.
Jack, talk to me.
You can't really know what it's like until you experience it. So now, for the first time, I think they really create a reenactment of an actual fire.